This is Lecture 6 for Music Theory Fundamentals. Today we are learning about harmonic and melodic minor scales. We'll start our lecture by learning about parallel major and minor scales, continue with constructing harmonic minor scales, and finish up by learning how to construct melodic minor scales. Let's get started. In Lecture 5, we learned about relative major and relative minor keys. We learned that they are called relatives because they share the same key signature, even though they have a different tonic. I will start this lecture with a brief explanation of parallel keys. Parallel major and minor keys share the same tonic pitch. This is an A-flat major scale. It starts and ends on tonic, which is A-flat. It has the key signature of A-flat major, which is 4 flats. This is an A-flat minor scale. It starts and ends on A-flat, which is tonic, but it has a different key signature. A-flat major and A-flat minor are parallel keys. They share the same tonic, but they have different key signatures. This is an E minor scale. This is an E major scale. E minor has 1 sharp, E major has 4 sharps, but they both start and end on tonic E. These are parallel keys. We are learning the meaning of parallel major and minor because there are 3 forms of minor scales. We already learned the first form of minor, natural minor. Start and end on the relative minor tonic pitch and use the key signature of the relative major. Parallel minor relates closely to our other 2 forms of minor, which we will learn today. The second form of minor is harmonic minor. Harmonic minor borrows a pitch from the parallel major. I'm going to play an E natural minor scale and an E harmonic minor scale back to back. What difference do you notice? Let's listen one more time. E natural minor, then E harmonic minor. What difference do you notice? When I've demonstrated this in the past for theory classes, I've gotten a variety of responses to this question. One note sounds out of place. It sounded a little like snake charmer music. It sounded like you added a leading tone. These are all valid responses. I particularly like the snake charmer comment because if you listen to the top 3 notes of a harmonic minor scale, it certainly sounds very snake charmer-y. This is our E minor scale in the treble clef. E natural minor starting and ending on E with the same key signature as the relative major, G major, which has 1 sharp. This is our parallel major, E major scale, which has 4 sharps in the key signature. Now let's see what a harmonic minor scale looks like. You'll notice that the F sharp appears next to the F pitch, but we add a D sharp into this minor scale. This is because we've borrowed it from the parallel major. D sharp shows up in E major, and we borrow it to make E minor into E harmonic minor. This gives us a leading tone. Let's see another example. D minor starting and ending on D, with the same key signature as its relative major, which is F major, which has one flat. D major, starting and ending on D, but with two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. And then D harmonic minor, same key signature as our first D minor scale, one flat, B flat, but we've borrowed our seventh scale degree from the parallel major. So that C sharp gets moved down to our D minor scale to make it D harmonic minor scale. Now I know what some of you are thinking. There's a B flat in this scale and a C sharp in this scale. Wait a second. I thought you said we couldn't have flats and sharps in the same key signature. How does this scale have a B flat and a C sharp? Great question. The answer is that the key signature will not have both flats and sharps in it. Notice that the key signature here for D minor is one flat, B flat. There is no C sharp in the key signature at the beginning of the line. But a D harmonic minor scale borrows a C sharp from the parallel major. Notice, C sharp is not in the key signature. C sharp shows up as an accidental. So if a composer is writing a melody in the key of D minor, B flat is likely to show up in the key signature at the beginning of every line. But if composers want to use the harmonic form of minor in their melody, they borrow the C sharp leading tone. It shows up as an accidental next to the C note, not in the key signature. Let's see another example of this. G major starts and ends on G and has an F sharp in the key signature. G minor, the parallel minor, starts and ends on G and has a B flat and E flat in the key signature. Now we have G harmonic minor. It starts and ends on G. It has a B flat and E flat in the key signature, but we've just borrowed that F sharp from the parallel major and put it in our minor key as an accidental. We've borrowed a leading tone. So the key signature is B flat and E flat, but we also put an F sharp in on that one individual note to indicate that we've just added a leading tone. So, how do we construct a harmonic minor scale? Step 1, not a surprise, put it on the staff. Starting with the minor tonic, right from tonic to tonic, alternating line, space, line, space, line, space, etc. Step 2, find the relative major. Using the key signature of the relative major, enter your sharps or flats. And then step 3, raise the 7th scale degree by a chromatic half step. I've very deliberately put that word raise in red and italics. There's a reason for this. I use this language because I don't want you to think that you sharp the 7th scale degree. It's true that sometimes raising a 7th scale degree means you put a sharp next to it. But remember that if it's a flat and you're raising it by a chromatic half step, you raise it to natural. And if it's sharp and you raise it by a chromatic half step, you raise it to a double sharp. Let's see some examples of this. We're going to write an F harmonic minor scale. Step 1, put it on the staff. Step 2, find the relative major. So we'll start on F and go up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. We've just landed on a G sharp, or is it an A flat? Well, we can't use the matching accidentals rule that we learned because it starts on F, so we don't have a flat or a sharp next to our tonic pitch. So we're going to have to ask ourselves, which of these pitches shows up on the major circle of fifths, G sharp or A flat? The answer is A flat. We know that if we move counterclockwise around our circle of fifths, starting with C, which has no sharps or flats, then going to F, which has one flat, B flat, which has two flats, E flat, which has three flats, and then finally A flat, which has four flats. We now know what our key signature is for the relative major, four flats. Do you remember what the first four flats are in the order of flats? B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. So we can now take these four flats and enter them in to our F scale. We've put them in the key signature, but for good measure, let's write them next to the pitches, B, E, A, and D. Now there's only one step left to convert this natural minor scale to harmonic minor scale. That's step 3, raise the 7th scale degree. And in this case, the 7th scale degree is E flat. We are going to raise that E flat to what? If you said E natural, you've got the right answer. This is an F harmonic minor scale. Let's write a D sharp harmonic minor scale. Step 1, put it on the staff, writing from a D to a D. Step 2, find the relative major. Starting on D sharp, we're going to go up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. We've just landed on F sharp and G flat. Guess what? They both exist on our major circle of fifths. So which one do we choose? This is where we match our accidentals. D sharp harmonic minor is going to have sharps in it, so we need to choose F sharp for our key signature. What's in the key signature for F sharp? Going clockwise around our circle of fifths, we have C at the top, no sharps or flats, G, which has one sharp, D, which has two sharps. There are 3 sharps in A major, 4 sharps in E major. B major has 5 sharps, and finally, we get to F sharp, which has 6 sharps. Do you remember the first 6 sharps in our order of sharps? F, C, G, D, A, and E. In our D sharp harmonic minor scale, everything is sharp except for B. Let's write those in. I've taken the liberty of pointing out our 7th scale degree, which we're going to raise to a C what to make it harmonic minor. Notice that we already have a sharp next to that pitch. If we're raising a pitch by a chromatic half step and it has a sharp next to it, we need it to have a double sharp. This is a D sharp harmonic minor scale. So to review, if we're constructing a harmonic minor scale, we start by putting it on the staff. Step 2, find the relative major and put in your key signature of that key. Step 3, raise the 7th scale degree. Don't sharp it. If it's flat, it goes up to natural. If it's natural, it goes up to sharp. And if it's sharp, it goes up to a double sharp. This is everything you need to know about constructing harmonic minor scales. The third form of minor is called melodic minor. Melodic minor borrows 2 pitches from the parallel major. I'm going to play an E natural minor scale and then an E melodic minor scale back to back. What difference do you notice? Listen one more time. As always, I get a variety of responses when I ask this question to my classes. Some students say, it sounds different going up than it does going down. It sounded a little like major on the way up. It sounded like natural minor coming down. Again, these are all very valid responses. Let's see what it looks like on a staff. Here's our E natural minor scale. Here's our E major scale, the parallel major. Now we will see what we borrow from major to make this melodic minor. Notice that the key signatures of the first and third scales are the same, 1 sharp, and that's F sharp. But for E melodic minor, we borrow 2 pitches from our parallel major. An ascending melodic minor scale borrows the 6th and 7th scale degrees from the parallel major. In melodic minor, we raise the 6th and 7th steps by a chromatic half step, ascending, or going up the scale, and we lower them descending when we go back down the scale. Going down the scale, melodic minor is exactly like natural minor. Let's see what this looks like on the staff. Here's our E melodic minor scale. We have an F sharp in the key signature. That means all the Fs will be F sharp, unless otherwise indicated. Our 6th and 7th scale degrees have been raised. We put accidentals, sharps, next to them on the way up. And going down, we see natural signs indicating that they are no longer raised. Going down, this scale sounds just like natural minor. So let's learn how to construct a melodic minor scale. Step 1 is not a surprise. Put it on the staff, starting with the minor tonic pitch, right from tonic to tonic, ascending and descending. Step 2, find the relative major. Is this sounding familiar? It's exactly what we did when we wrote natural minor and harmonic minor scales. The first 2 steps are the same. So we use the key signature of the relative major and we enter sharps or flats, depending on what's in the relative major. Step 3 is where things change up a bit. Raise the 6th and 7th scale degrees by a chromatic half step, ascending. Lower them, descending, back to natural minor. Let's practice with a C melodic minor scale. Step 1, put it on the staff. So I've written from a C up to a C and back down. This is because I want to show how the scale is different going up than it is descending. Step 2, find the relative major. 1, 2, 3 half steps up. Is this a D sharp or is it an E flat? Which one exists on our major circle of fifths? The answer is E flat, which has 3 flats in the key signature. What are the first 3 flats in our order of flats? B flat, E flat, and A flat. Let's put them on our scale. Notice that I've entered them both going up and going down. The next step is to raise the 6th and 7th scale degrees on our way up. They're going to be lowered again to natural minor on our way back down. So how do we raise our A flat and our B flat by a chromatic half step? We'll need to do that by getting rid of that flat sign before each of those notes. Notice that on the way down, the flats are back in again. This is a correct way of writing C melodic minor, but it's not a bad idea to enter your natural signs just to be absolutely clear that you understand we've adjusted those 2 notes by a chromatic half step. Let's continue with an A melodic minor scale. Step 1, put it on the staff. So we've written from an A up to an A and back down. Step 2, let's go up 3 half steps to find the relative major. 1, 2, 3. We've just landed on C. C is a happy key. It has no sharps. It has no flats. So, to enter the key signature of C major, well, it's already done. We don't need to change anything. So this is our A natural minor scale. Now we need to adjust the 6th and 7th scale degrees on the way up, indicating that we've raised them. And then we need to indicate that we've lowered them back down to natural minor on the way down. For our F and our G on the way up, we're going to write sharp signs because they were natural and they need to be raised up a chromatic half step. And on the way down, just to be clear, let's write in some natural signs. This shows that that G and that F are no longer sharp. So to review, if you're going to construct a melodic minor scale, the first step is to put it on the staff. The second step is to find the relative major and use that for your key signature. The third step is to raise the 6th and 7th scale degrees by a chromatic half step ascending and lower them descending back to natural minor. There are a few important things I want you to remember. Number 1, check your starting pitch for the correct tonic. The name of your scale is tonic. So if you're asked to write an E flat major scale, E flat is tonic. If you're asked to write an A sharp minor scale, A sharp is tonic. Be sure you're always starting in the right place. Number 2, check that you found the correct relative major. Don't forget to ask, do the accidentals match? Does it exist? Step 3, I use these words very deliberately. We raise or we lower pitches. We don't sharp or flat them. This is because sometimes we're starting on a flat or a sharp. So we need to make sure we understand how to adjust pitches by a chromatic half step, even if they have a sharp or a flat in front of them. Remember that harmonic minor is the same, ascending and descending. Melodic minor is the one that's different. We raise the 6th and 7th scale degrees on the way up, and we lower them back down on the way down. To review, today we learned about parallel major and minor. They have the same tonic. We learned how to construct a harmonic minor scale, which uses the key signature of the relative major, but the 7th scale degree is raised to a leading tone. And we learned how to construct melodic minor, which uses the key signature of the relative major, but this time the 6th and 7th scale degrees are raised when ascending, or going up the scale, and lowered back down to natural minor when descending. Now would be a great time to use some of the websites we've discussed in class to practice constructing harmonic minor and melodic minor scales.